We're going to get some questions from our lovely audience. We're going to start with a question from Colin. Where is Colin?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
Hi, good. Should we have to start paying to use the NHS?
OK, so there's a report in the Times this weekend which pointing out that in the Republic of Ireland, patients are being charged for things such as doctor's appointments and hospital stays, up to 50 quid a time. Should we be doing that?
Well, I think the question we're really asking ourselves is, does the NHS actually work for the ordinary person? And the reality is, Andrew, I don't think it does.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean because you have to have endless queues, because you can't reach anyone?
Because of all of those things. It's impossible to get a GP appointment. You have to wait months in order to go and see a consultant. The entire system seems to be clogged up. The reality is it's not working at the moment, so that's what we're mooting, is to pay £50 in order to inject more money into the system, and hopefully being able, once they get more money into the system, they'll be able to invest in more doctors, nurses, GPs, etc.
Well, shouldn't that be coming from the government, though? I mean, isn't it their responsibility?
Well, Jeremy Hunt actually pledged even more money for the NHS. I mean, the problem is the NHS at the moment is a bureaucratic black hole which just seems to suck more and more money into it. And look, and that's not to denigrate the work the nurses and the doctors do. My girlfriend was actually had to have a pretty major operation on the NHS. The staff were incredible, but it was so obvious that they were overstretched.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, though, Sajeela. I kind of feel, what is the alternative? I'm a big fan of the NHS. If you go to America, if you're poor and you get sick, you're in trouble. You just die, basically.
We don't want that here.
No.
And having used the NHS quite a lot in the last few years, I've seen the good, the bad and the ugly of it. So it's not like a simple matter of, I mean, you know, waiting times, if you go into A&E is appalling, as you just mentioned, about, like, doctors trying to get a doctor. But when it's good, it's really good. They literally saved my life. However, they've also, like, given me a lot of distress. And I think that's based on individuals that work within the industry. And also, I would agree with you that bureaucracy is really where the issues are.
Is that where most of the money is going?
Yeah,
But, you know, you've got to admit, though, Francis, it's a much better system. I mean, I saw this documentary in America about the American healthcare system. There was a terrible situation where a man had sawn off accidentally 2 of his fingers, and he effectively had to decide which one he wanted sewn back on because he couldn't afford both, right? And that, to me, is just horrible. But, you know, I use all my fingers. I don't want to be faced with that kind of choice.
I mean, look, it's a very good point, and the American system is obviously awful and we should avoid it. And I am not someone who's calling for a private or an American or an insurance-style system. I just think we really need to be honest and just admit that what we have at the moment isn't fit for purpose, and it needs reforming of some sort.
Yeah,
and you don't need to make... I'm sorry, but you don't need to Sophie's choice with which finger or which testicle to lose. Do you know what I mean? That's
no, I mean, you don't want to be in that sort of situation.
You don't.